Good evening and welcome to Sip and Save with Stephanie. Welcome to Sip and Save with Stephanie. Hold on, let me try it again because I didn't get my podcast ready. Welcome to Sip and Save with Stephanie. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to my YouTube live listeners. Welcome to the podcast listeners. It is such a blessing to be in your home, your car, your office, wherever you might be at this time. I am coming to you stressed. I did not look. Let me go and open up my bottle right now. I did not mean to come on the show stressed, but you all know how I do on Thursdays. I'm so excited that next Thursday is a fifth Thursday because you all know I normally don't come on the fifth Thursdays. So you all don't even know how excited I am that next Thursday is a fifth Thursday, which means I get to fully focus on watching the Roland Martin Unfiltered channel. Y'all know I watch that on the in the evening, excuse me, on I'm about to say on Thursday, but I watch it in the evenings more consistently now than I did before. And so he does give the news, and all news is, depending on what it is, can be stressful. So he is giving us some real news, y'all. And I'm gonna just be honest with you, it started to stress me out. I mean, folks going to but they taking folks back. It's just stressing me out. So anyway, I do encourage you, as I always do on Thursdays, or not always, but sometimes on Thursdays, I invite you to go to the Black Star Network and check out the Roland Martin Unfiltered channel on the Black Star Network. It is absolutely amazing. I don't think Roland Martin will mind me as I continue to share about his show and the Black Star Network. You can get the information, on his website, Roland Martin, and you can download the app. You can see it on your Roku, your Fire Stick, whatever streaming channels that you have available. That you can find the Black Star Network is get it. It is so good. It is so informative. Roland Martin gives us the news, world news, American news, but he gives us Black news. Like, he brings the news that local channels and mainstream channels will not bring to us. I'm learning so much about a lot of things, just listening and watching the Roland Martin show, and then engaging with my peers. I'll say just engaging with my Roland Martin Unfiltered family and just hearing their thoughts and getting wisdom from them. I know things. I consider myself to be an intelligent person, but I also consider myself to be a lifelong learner. I'm ever learning what is going on in the world. And sometimes, I'm gonna be honest, I just shut the news off. That's why I wasn't as consistent watching Roland Martin Unfiltered, just because news is news is news. But I want to stay informed. I want to know what's going on. I want to be able to have intelligent conversations with my community about what is going on in the world, so that we are all knowledgeable, so that we are all aware, because everything that's happening impacts us. Sometimes it impacts us in a personal way. Sometimes, which the news that Roland Martin was giving before I came on my show was impacting me in a very personal way. It impacts our communities, our states. Y'all, I was, even before I got on the show, even before I started listening to Roland Martin, I was like, Jesus, 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 Jesus. I was like, Jesus, there's so much going on in this here world that you and your daddy created. I mean, of course, God did not. I'm going to say that again. God did not create the chaos that is currently going on. The enemy did that. The devil did that when he decided that he could be equal to God. In his pride becomes a fall. He fell from heaven, and he is the one that has initiated, created, and maintaining, I'm going to just say it how it is, maintaining the chaos, the confusion, the racism, the ignorance, the stupidity, the foolishness that is going on in our, y'all. I'm like, Jesus, when are you coming back? Like, I'm looking and when it's a loud boom and it's not Juneteenth, because they were so Juneteenth was Monday, as you all know. We commemorated Juneteenth on Monday, June 19th. And I talked a little bit about it last Thursday when the word got to when the word got to the enslaved people in Galveston, Texas, that the Emancipation Proclamation had been signed on January 1st, 1863. Of course, they did not get word until June 19th, 1865, which was over 2 years later, when Granger and the Union troops delivered the message to them. And so we commemorate that happening in the world in 1865. And so I said all that to say fireworks were going off in my community on Juneteenth, and I was here for it. I normally don't like fireworks, and maybe these fireworks were okay because they weren't like right in my immediate community. They were in the community next door because they were a little muffled. But I was like, yes, do your fireworks if you want to. I don't like fireworks like I did when I was younger because since I've gotten older, the noise makes me nervous, and I'm not afraid that it's a gunshot. Like I know on certain holidays that I'm not gonna mention, fireworks are boom, 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 booming in my community, and it just boom, just a boom. It does make me nervous. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm just full disclosure, it makes me nervous. And so, but I was so happy because this was the first year that I remember fireworks going off on Juneteenth, and I was here for it. I was loving it, that commemoration. And so I have no idea why I said all that, but anyway, I don't even know where I was going. I wish I could listen to the replay right now so I could know where my train of thought was. But anyway, we celebrated Juneteenth. I was talking about Roland Martin Unfiltered, and I have no idea where I was going with that story. But anywho, how y'all doing? It's Thursday. You all know I'm going to ask you how you're doing. How are you doing mentally? How are you doing spiritually? How are you? Oh, I was saying there was a lot going on in the world. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. How are you doing spiritually? How are you doing emotionally? How are you doing mentally? How are you doing socially and spiritually? Yeah, I told you I was like listening to the news that Roland Martin was sharing. I wrote some of it down. So I can like do some research for myself later. Even though some of the information I'd heard, I just need to do some research to get to. So, so I'm slightly stressed. I feel a little bit better now that I'm just on my own show and talking, but I am going to try to tune back into the Roland Martin Unfiltered channel on the Black Star Network before the show ends so that I can glean some more information and like do some research. So I feel a little stressed in my shoulders, but I'm going to do some chair yoga later. So, and some mindfulness more than likely later, and so I'll be okay. So I feel pretty good, you all. Full disclosure, on Monday, y'all, on Monday, I honestly and seriously I was at my desk initially, and then I moved over because the space that I have, I do share. It's like a cubicle, but it's a little bit larger than a cubicle. But I have a large space where my two desks are over here, and then I have space over here where I keep containers because I keep folders of the students that we're serving and during this particular time, and then I go, take them and lock them up. Anyway, um, I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack. Like I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack or stroke. My heart was racing so fast. I could not get my heart rate down. So I was at my desk and I stood up. I was like, let me just walk a little bit. And I started praying. And I was like, God, I just was like, am I gonna pass out? Like what I knew what was happening because I remember clearly what initiated this response from me that I don't really want to talk about. This is work. And so I just stood there by these containers that are sitting on the table, and I just had my hands on the table, praying like, God, please do not let me have a heart attack. Please let my heart rate slow down. Like, please do not let me have a stroke. Please let my mind just settle. Like, I was really nervous. I wasn't as fearful, but I was just in a state of, God, please do not let this happen. Like, I don't know if I really was going to have one, but it felt that. Like, I felt like I've never had a heart attack. Thank you, Jesus. I've never had a stroke. Thank you, Jesus. I do know the signs and symptoms. And I didn't feel any tingling in my body, even though I know that may not happen with everybody that has a heart attack. But I just stood there and I prayed. And my heart rate slowly went down. And this was on Monday that I said so, and then my mind just kind of settled in a little bit, and I was able to like fully settle down. And of course, I started Jesus, you said in your word that I can cast my care upon you, for you care for me. So I started casting care. I wanted to like calm down a little bit in my body. Then I started casting my care and just releasing the stress that was initiated. And I just, y'all, stress is real. Heart disease is real. And woo, y'all, if I could come off my job, yeah, if I thank the Lord, I'm God, I thank, and I tell the Lord this, God, I'm thankful to have a job. I'm thankful that I'm working. I'm thankful to be able to support myself. I'm thankful that I'm able-bodied so that I can go to work and sustain myself, take care of the bills and have food in the pantry and the freezer and the refrigerator. Like I'm thankful that I can take care of myself. But y'all, if I could come off my job, like I would. If I can, y'all, so I'm just in prayer, like on my way to, while I'm getting ready for work, on my way to work, when I get to work, and when I'm at my desk, like I am in constant prayer because things are different. They're just different. And whew, y'all pray my strength in the Lord Christ Jesus. Y'all hear me? Pray my strength. So that's how I'm feeling. The rest of the week was pretty good. Today and yesterday were really good. I actually took more, like I did some mindfulness. Y'all, when I say I'm glad nobody needed me yesterday, because I am gonna share this. I was at my desk, and I did a mindfulness practice with a group of colleagues. When I say I was sitting at my chair, my desk chair, and I have another chair that's like by my desk that I keep my bag in and stuff in. And then, when people come, sometimes they'll sit there and talk to me. So, multi-purpose chair. When I say I was taking my shoes off, like just for about 15, 20 minutes, I'd taken my shoes off. I leaned back in my chair. I had my arms like in between the chair and the arm of the chair. I had my feet propped up, which I'm about to prop my feet up right now. I had my feet propped up in the chair. I had my eyes closed, and y'all, I was reared back. I said, Jesus, I hope nobody, because I started to put a little sign, because I do have a little sign that I'm in a meeting, please don't disturb me type of a thing. But I was like, well, I hope nobody comes around the corner, but if they do, they know I practice mindfulness and that I do yoga and shit. So I was like, it's just not, I was laid out, and I was taking in that meditation, taking in that mindfulness practice, y'all. It felt so good. So what I've decided to do is that I have been doing mindfulness practices inconsistently. While I'm at my desk, I'm going to pick it up. I think I'm even going to start offering mindfulness classes to my colleagues more consistently. What I'm thinking about is doing a weekly mindfulness / meditation. Sometimes it might be mindfulness, sometimes it might be meditation, sometimes it might be some yoga. I am thinking about doing that weekly when the school year begins again. I'll have to talk to my supervisor, see what she thinks about it. I know my colleagues won't mind, because I have had a few of them be like, Stephanie, you gonna start chair yoga again, like mindfulness, like what's going on? Because I haven't, I just did a few classes early when I started, learning about yoga. And then I did a few more when I got my chair yoga certification. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing it weekly with my colleagues, because I recognize that all of us are dealing with some level of stress, whether it's a 10% level, 50%, 60%, or 99.9%. Like all of us have levels of stress and can use time to relax, relate, and release. Come on, a different world. Come on in here. So all of us can use just time to just settle our mind and settle ourselves and be at peace for a few minutes. And my purpose for teaching mindfulness and meditation is so that the individuals that are in the class will take that practice into their own lives, and hopefully not delete. Yeah, I can say delete. Delete is not the word I wanted to use. Diminish as much stress in their life as absolutely possible. And then to have the tools that when stress is creeping into the shoulders or manifesting some way in the body, that those mindful practices will come to mind, that individual can do that practice, meditate, and just really recenter themselves to push forward in whatever they're doing, whether they're at work or with family, because sometimes family can stress you out. So whatever the case may be. So that's where my mind, y'all know me, I hadn't planned to say all that, but I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I did because y'all, woosah. Let me just tell you woosah. Okay, what are y'all drinking? I got my scarpinade tonight. I got my alcohol-free scarpinade. I wish I would have bought my water over, but I didn't. But y'all, I got my alcohol-free scarpinade. Like I was opening it when I was talking when the show first came on. So I'm about to pour me. I really wanted some real alcohol tonight, but I was just like, let me get my alcohol-free scarpinade tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it. Oh, I meant to shake it up. I forgot to shake it. Take me a little sip. Yeah, I should have shook that up because it's been sitting since December. I got a couple of cases while I was home. I actually got a couple of cases before I came back home. So I'm on my last few bottles. So I know I'll need to, I'll be probably get some more. This is June. I'll probably get some more maybe at the end of summer because I have a few bottles to probably last me for the remainder of the summer. So I'll get a little bit more. So what y'all sipping on tonight? Y'all go ahead and let me know how you're feeling. You can drop it in the chat or add it to the comment section a little bit later. Y'all, I'm gonna just tell you all, I don't have much news tonight. Like I don't even have any big news. Like I know you all are um aware of what's happening in the world with the Trump indictments and Adam Schiff and I forget what it's called. I want to call it a tanker, but it's not a tanker, but the group of men who I wanted to see the Titanic. I can't even think of what the vessel is called. And I don't know, I have not read any updates about the status of the life status, of the individuals that are um, in this. Let me look it up because I looked at the name a couple of hours like earlier, but I don't know exactly what it's called. But y'all know, I'm not gonna look it up, but I haven't y'all know what's going on there. So we are fully aware of what's going on in our world. And so I just have a little bit of news that interested me today. And I'm probably gonna be off in just a little bit. I don't think I'll be up here long. But y'all, let me tell y'all, it's a lot going on in the world. So I invite you or welcome you just to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, even in the midst of all the news that's going on in the world. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Make sure that you're taking care of your mental health and your spiritual health and your emotional health. Don't get so overwhelmed by what's going on in the world that we allow it to consume us, that we allow it to overtake our mental health and our wellness. Just I pray that you will not get so consumed. Um, Take care of yourself. Yeah, just take care of yourself. Yeah, take care of yourself. I really want y'all to hear me on that. Like, take care of yourself. Um, yeah, take care of yourself. I really feel that sometimes we allow the news that we hear or some of our experiences to really overwhelm us. So I'm gonna say it probably for what's the fifth time, fourth time. Just take care of yourself mentally, take care of yourself emotionally, take care of yourself physically, take care of yourself spiritually and socially. Just make sure that you're taking care of you. And if you have a family, take care of your family. Make sure that your husband is okay. Make sure that your wife is okay. Make sure that your children are okay because they are experiencing some things within their own heart and within their own mind and within their own lives. And most children are out right now for the summer and you're at work and they may be home and you may or may not know what they're doing. If you got cameras in the house, maybe you can see them. I don't know, but they may be hanging out with friends or talking to individuals, and we don't know how those individuals, how those friends, how who they're hanging around is influencing them. So make sure that you're taking care of your children as well. Okay, all right, y'all. I'm gonna give you all this little bit of news, and then I'm going to shift myself probably back to the Roland Martin Unfiltered channel. This kind of, let me see, I'm trying to see what I want to start with. I think I'm missing one of my sheets. Oh, this is the one. I moved my sheet over. So you all, I found this very interesting. You all know I reported about AI maybe earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken. Artificial intelligence, there were some organizations, Microsoft being one, even though they didn't release it, but there were some organizations and individuals that had created AI, where you could talk to deceased loved ones, or you could talk to deceased historical figures. I can't remember the name of any of the software because y'all, I reported it and hadn't thought anything else about it, but AI is continuing to be developed. And you all know anything that deals with technology, um, hackers and individuals are going to use it to attempt to scam people, attempt to get some money, attempt to steal your information, your identity, or whatever. And so there have been individuals slash groups, don't know who they are, but that have been using AI as a kidnapping scam. Yeah, we got to be careful. Y'all, the discernment is a spiritual gift. Discernment is a spiritual gift. Get you some 1 Corinthians 12. I believe that everybody should have some level of discernment. We should be able to discern when someone comes to us with a lie or they come to us with the truth. Like we should be able to, I believe this is just Stephanie's belief. I believe that every individual should be able to have the spirit of discernment so they can determine God from the devil, scams from the truth. So you all, there is there is a rise of artificial intelligence, and there are individuals that are again falling victim to kidnapping and other scams. So what they do is they will check out your social media. They may see that, one of your family members is away on a vacation or, wherever. They're not at home, they're away for the weekend or whatever. And they will take that information. If they can find a picture of them, they'll find a picture of them. They have software that can manipulate your voice to make it sound like I don't even know how they would figure out how the person sounds unless there's a video on their social media and they can capture their voice from that video and manipulate it to say something else as it relates to I've been kidnapped. These individuals are going to harm me, send money. So there are calls that are coming to victims about a loved one being kidnapped, and there's a threat of violence against that individual, and then a asking of ransom money. And yes, people have fallen victim to these scams, you all, because they hear that voice that sounds like their loved one and they want to help them. They know this loved one is out of town or out of the country, just away from their home for a day or two or a week or a month. And maybe they haven't heard from them in a couple of days. I can't say, about what the victims, like what was their state of mind? Like, did they, send this money because they hadn't heard from their loved ones or whatever the case may be? But for whatever reason, they accept this call to be the truth and they send money, usually in the form of a wire transfer. You all, I'm not, don't know everything, but I have learned just from cybersecurity intelligence, people that are intelligent in cybersecurity, these individuals, and just listening to different news agencies who do like troubleshooting, and they talk about things to look for when you get like an email that doesn't seem right or a phone call that doesn't seem right. In particular, when they ask for money in the form of gift cards or a wire transfer, that is more than likely a scam. And so these in there again, I didn't give the names of any individuals, so I didn't pull up all of those articles, but there again have been individuals that have fallen victim to a kidnapping scam and other scams as it relates to artificial intelligence. From what I understand, I don't know a lot about artificial intelligence. It's not my area of education or expertise, but in reading the article, you can use AI to manipulate, to like I said, grab photos off of social media, manipulate voices. Again, I don't know how you do that without having the person's voice. So I'm thinking that they're taking videos of that person's voice, capturing that voice, and then manipulating. They're using, information again they find online to produce these fake messages from your loved ones to say, I'm kidnapped, they're going to hurt me, send money. And so, you all, we really need to be vigilant about the phone calls. And y'all, like, I have never gotten as many phone calls or text messages from people I do not know. Like, I've had my number for a long time. And in the last year, I have no idea how my number got out there because I've had it for a long time without all these spam calls. And I need to add my number to the do not call registry. Is what I really need to take the time to do that. But I've had the most text messages and calls, and I'm just like, how the heck y'all get my number? Because it's been unavailable. I ain't gonna say it's been unavailable, but I've never had as many spam calls as I've had in the last year. So, these are some of the. There's a gentleman named Pete Nicoletti. He is a Checkpoint Software Technology. He works with or for Checkpoint Software Technologies, is a cybersecurity firm. It's said to be one of the largest in the nation. So he suggests that in order for us to try to protect ourselves and our family members, he suggests that we have a safe word for our family when we call each other, when we communicate with each other, that of course only the family knows. So if we hear that safe word, we know that it's that family member, it's that loved one. And of course, if they don't know the safe word, I would say safe phrase, but safe word, Mr. Pete suggests, if they don't know that safe word, then it's probably a scam. It's probably somebody who's just trying to get some money from you. And so a safe word or a safe phrase, I say, that only the family is privy to. I used to watch Blue Bloods years ago. I didn't watch it consistently. I think I used to watch the reruns, but I remember this one, the family of police officers, their dad, the patriarch of the family, was the chief, or was he the chief of the police, the commissioner? I think he was the commissioner for the police department. Or either the city commissioner, whichever one it was. I only watched a few episodes, or maybe I watched more than a few episodes, enough to kind of learn what was happening. Anyway, they actually had a safe phrase, and I never seen it or heard that before. But the daughter had gotten kidnapped, and two of the brothers were cops, were police officers, and I think it was the oldest brother, if I'm not mistaken. The sister was a lawyer, and I can't remember exactly how everything happened, but the person had this sister, like I think he had her like in a hole with a gun to her head, and she said that safe word, that safe phrase. I can't remember what it was. Like, do not hurt my family. I think is what she said. She said that safe phrase, and then she dropped. And then her husband, not her husband, I'm sorry, her brother was able to take out that criminal. And just, I didn't realize what was going on, but after she did it, when she said it, I was like, I wonder why she's saying that. Then when I saw what happened, I was like, that was a code. That was their family code. Y'all, I thought that was phenomenal. It was so amazing, and it helped save her life. And so when I read this, that this cybersecurity person said, I was like, yes, that's good. So maybe that's something that you want to adopt for your family to keep your family safe, a phrase or a word that only your family knows, so that if somebody does call you and say, well, look, I'm Stephanie, but they don't know the safe word or the safe phrase, hang up. It's probably a lie. It's probably a scam. So just one thing that you can adopt for your family if you so choose, just a suggestion. There's also a suggestion by former FBI Special Agent Rich Frankel. He noted that make your social media accounts private. That way, not everybody can access it. Only your friends can access it. Only certain people can access your social media accounts. And also be mindful about posting. So he didn't say this. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm going to say this, and then I'll get back to what the FBI, former FBI special agent. I'm going to say this. When you're going out of town, when you're going out of the country, you ain't got to let the whole free world know. Don't let everybody need to know that you about to go to the Bahamas or to the Virgin Islands or to Japan, or where, like, not everybody in the free world needs to know that your house is about to be unprotected. Like, everybody doesn't need to know that. I know that we live in the age of social media where we want to share everything with the world, even down to what we're eating, what we're drinking. We take pictures. We want everybody to know. But sometimes it's best just to keep your mouth closed. Keep the pictures and videos on social media until after you get back to your house, and then you can post all your. That's just me. That's just Stephanie talking. That's just that you a grown person, so you do what you want to do with your grown self and your grown life. That's just a suggestion that I have, to not post when you're out of town, when you're out of the country, just as a security measure for yourself. That's my suggestion. So getting back to what former FBI agent said, he did say to try to make your social media accounts private. He also suggested that if you do receive a spam call about the kidnapping, your loved one being kidnapped, he said contact the authorities, let them know, so that if it's a scam, they are aware that this has happened. And then if it's a truth, it's already on record, and then they can start looking for your loved one. Okay. So I think that's, y'all, I mean, hackers and individuals, they are getting cunning. And with all these new technologies being produced or being created or developed, whatever, it is just open season for people, for scammers, for hackers, for folks just to run roughshod, over our lives. I'm going to say, if we don't do everything we can to protect us, they just run roughshod. Now, you can do all you can to protect yourself, and then something may still happen as far as identity theft or being scammed, but try your best in every way to protect yourself from being a victim of artificial intelligence scamming, the kidnapping scamming, phone call scamming, whatever the case may be. Just protect yourself, protect your family. And parents, talk to your children. I'm pretty sure most parents have already done this, but talk to your children about internet safety, about social media safety, about communicating with individuals safely. I don't know if teenagers join chat rooms. I hope not. Whew. But parents, just talk to your children about internet safety if you haven't done so already. I know we talk about it in the schools during your technology time, and I don't know if every school does it, every school district does it, but I know in my school district there is conversations that happen with students about internet safety. And so I do encourage parents to talk to your children regularly. I don't just talk to them one time and let it go. Like, check in with them regularly about their internet use, about like their social media. Like, if I had some kids, you best believe I would be monitored. I don't know how you can monitor your child's phone. I know that parents do that. I would have some type of monitoring device on it. I would be monitoring their phones, monitoring their social media. Like, I would be, a matter of fact, depending on what age, you may not be allowed to have social media, even though I know kids is cunning too. But boy, I would be all up in it, because there are predators, there are sex slave traffickers, human traffickers. There are just individuals out there wanting to take advantage of young people. And so we just have to be vigilant and diligent to make sure that we protect our children, our family, just at all costs, y'all. Okay. Malcolm X, by any means necessary, just came to my mind. So just protect yourself, y'all. Protect yourself, protect your family as best you can. So this case kind of stumped me. This kind of stumped me. I don't have all of the details on it, and I definitely want to read the court cases that have been happening over the last few decades. But our Native American brothers and sisters, the Navajo Nation, the Navajo Nation in particular, they were just denied a lawsuit. So they were blocked from pursuing a lawsuit claiming that the federal government has a duty to assert the tribe's water rights. So the Colorado River supports Arizona, California, New Mexico, Nevada, and I said Colorado, right? So Arizona, California, Colorado, Nevada, and New Mexico, the Colorado River supports these states with water. They supply these states with water. So the Navajo Nation wants to know from the federal government, what are their water rights? Like what, just let us know, what access do we have to this Colorado River? What is what are, our water rights? So in reading, this has been a decades-long battle between the Navajo Nation and the federal government. And like I said, I need to read in more detail, like research and read, and get the details of these court cases that have been happening for all this long time. So, in reading the article, they showed a picture of a Navajo lady, I believe it was a lady, a Navajo person, going to get water and carrying water back on her truck in this vessel. As I was reading this, I was like, water is a basic right, ain't it? Like, I know I'm paying water bill, most of us do, but like not having access to water in a way that's sustainable for your community. I even now, just saying it out of my mouth, like reading it, I was like, I have no words, but saying it out of my mouth, it's unreal. It's unbelievable. So the Navajo Nation, the tribe, is just asking again for the federal government to identify its water rights. What are my water rights? The tribe also said that the federal government has failed to keep its promises to the tribal members and that they are left suffering. Even though the Colorado River runs directly along the reservation's borders and provides waters to the surrounding states, they're still having some trouble with the government keeping their promises. I did not tap more into what those promises were, but in the article, it did discuss, or not discuss, but highlighted the Navajo Treaty. I shouldn't call it the Navajo Treaty, but the treaty with the Navajo Nation, the 1868 treaty with the Navajo Nation. And so I looked it up, and it's a lot to read. It is, but they have a few highlights of this treaty. And so it talks about the cessation of war and wrongdoing, the delineation of reservation, construction of a warehouse, agency building, blacksmith, carpentry, assignment of an agent reporting to the Commissioner of Indian Affairs, distribution of land to individuals, compulsory education for children, provision of seeds and agricultural implements, other provisions that are given to the Navajo Nation, conditions for validation for any future treaties, appropriations of monies, agreement to make reservation permanent home for the Navajo. So these are the topics that I just gave are articles within this 1868 treaty. Then of course it breaks it down and gives a greater detail. As I was reading this and at a loss of words about why folks struggling for water, of course, I'm thinking about Flint, Michigan, another, conversation about clean water, access to safe water, clean water, just water. I mean, our body is made up of mostly water. I can't remember the percentage, if it's 70%, over 70%. Y'all, we have to have water to survive. If we don't have water, we can dehydrate and die. And so my mind also goes back to the fact that Europeans, white folk, stole land from the Native Americans. I, so for the federal government to block them even hearing this particular lawsuit, I'm just at a loss for words, because you stole land from the Native Americans, you put them on reservations, land that you allotted their land to. Ooh, child, you allotted their land to them, put them on reservations, and then gave them guiding principles. And now they're just wanting some water. And y'all, like the new, just let me see what else I can share. Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Ooh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. So this particular, so it's a 17 million acre reservation, y'all. Like that's a lot of land, a lot of, and I don't know how many individuals are on this particular reservation, but you got 17 million acres, and they are having to fight for water rights so that they can provide the basic necessity to their nation, to their community. Again, I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into this, but I just felt bad. I just feel bad about it. And I just wanted to bring it to your attention. It means something to me because I don't. Water is a basic human necessity, and so for them not to have like full access to the water that they need in a way that's sustainable for their community, like seeing somebody going to get water, like to have to take it back. Like I know that there are some countries that have their water supply like that, where you go to a well or you go to a specific location and you draw water. But doggone it, if they have the water running through their nation, their reservation, but don't have full access to it in a way that's sustainable for them, I don't understand it. So I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper just for myself, and you can definitely dive in for yourself and see. I don't know if I'll touch base on this again. I just really wanted to bring it to your attention in case you're interested. Phew. Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna that. That was just for your information. And again, I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper. So I do want to let you know that the justices ruled 5-4 that this particular lawsuit should be thrown out. A little bit, a little bit of division there at 5-4. That's, it's not like it was like 8-1 or 7-2, but 5-4. All right, y'all. Give the Navajo people, they give them clear guidelines about the rights of their water and give them like full access so they can be sustainable in their community. I just don't understand. All right, I got two more stories for you, and I'm gonna try to be done by 7:30, and I think I can get it done. This one is an education. So this happened or is happening in Milwaukee. So the Wisconsin school district, or a Wisconsin school district, are potentially voting next month to ban safe spaces within their school buildings. And so I've heard this happen. I haven't heard of the banning happening, but I've heard of some school districts or some schools actually having signage about this particular classroom or this particular area being a safe space for the LGBTIQ plus community. So any individuals who just wanted to get away from the stress or the foolishness of it all could go to this place and just be at peace. While I do not believe that a person is born homosexual. I think the homosexual lifestyle, the LGBTIQ plus community lifestyle is a choice. I believe it is a choice. I do not believe that a person is born homosexual. I still respect every human being on the face of the earth. I will respect you as a part of the human race. And if a safe space is needed, because individuals in the schools are bullied for foolish reasons. They don't have name brand clothes or name brand shoes. Their shoes worn down. They don't have the latest style clothes. They look funny. They wear glasses. Like children, youth are bullied for a variety of reasons, usually by people who are jealous of them or who are insecure within their own selves. So to make themselves feel good, they have to taunt you or bully you. The LG individuals within the let me make sure I get my letter, LGBTQI plus community are bullied. I don't have the statistics, but they are bullied. I feel like they're bullied at a higher rate than someone who may not identify with the community. I feel like they are bullied for their lifestyle choice. Because again, it's a lifestyle choice. You were not born a homosexual, it's a lifestyle choice. But I still believe they should feel safe, just like I feel our Black children should feel safe in school. They should not have to worry about going to school and being called an N-word or go to school and being called a thug because they got braids in their hair. Come on, somebody. So what's the problem with having a safe space for those people? But this particular school district, they are thinking about banning these safe spaces because this is what was said. The signs could create a sense that some areas of schools aren't equal because they're safer than others. And signs promoting one group over others can leave students feeling isolated. This sounds like that foolishness that has come out of Florida and North Carolina and other states about not wanting one group to feel bad about history, about the fact that white people in this history being white people enslaving Black people. They don't want white children to feel bad because of what their ancestors, not their ancestors, but their ancestors did. Child, you better, and so they want to block certain parts of history. Let me tell y'all something. You cannot choose which part of history is acceptable to be taught in school. History is history is history, whether it's favorable history, whether it's history that puts your family in a beautiful light, or whether it's history that shows the racism that has happened throughout the lineage of your family. History is history. It cannot be erased. It cannot be deleted. It cannot be eliminated because the history is the history is the history. The history of America is that it was built on the backs of Black people, enslaved people. This capitalistic world, or I'll just talk about the United States of America, this capitalistic society that we live in, it was initiated by, you stole the land from the Native Americans, and then it was initiated on the backs of Black and brown people building this country, enslaved people. I ain't gonna say Black and brown, I didn't say that right. Black people. I'm not talking about the brown folk right now, but Black people. And to try to erase that history is stupid, is ridiculous, is ignorant. So just like I want Black children to feel safe when they're in school. Well, let me push pause. I want all children to feel safe in schools with all these school shootings happening. But I want Black children to feel safe in school and not be felt discriminated against because of this brown, beautiful brown skin. I don't want the LGBTIQ plus community to feel discriminated against either, because they're still human beings. They're still a person with a heart and with feelings. And so if they have a space, whether it's in a classroom or the counselor's office or whatever, where they feel safe, then why take that away from them? You know, And I feel like all children should have a safe space to go. Like I remember um, my niece, I remember talking to her about, like, she was going to a new school, new high school, and I talked to her about, there was a teacher that I knew at the school that she was going to, so I told her to connect with that teacher and just let her know that she was my niece, and if she ever felt, she's a Christian woman, and if she ever felt unsafe or that she needed to talk, and if she couldn't get to her mom or me, she could, definitely go to that teacher. She's right there at the school. And I feel like all children should have a safe space, a classroom, a teacher, that they can go to when they feel bullied, when they feel insecure, when they feel discriminated against, somebody that they can go to, talk to, and just be comforted and be encouraged and feel safe and secure. The LGBTQI plus community, I don't feel any differently about them, that they should have a safe space. So I'll be curious to know if the school board is going to like update their policies to ban these safe spaces. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. Um, I'll read the policy to you just so you can have a little bit more information. In part, this is because of the importance of providing substantial context for such issues and due to concerns that certain displays and postings may be perceived as a promotion of a single perspective or viewpoint on such matters, or as a promotion of a staff member's personal opinion on controversial topics. So, in other words, if a teacher or an area of the school says safe spaces, it automatically means that that person is an advocate for the LGBTI plus community. They could be, but not necessarily. They're a teacher. And for teachers, we want all children to feel safe. We don't care, or most of us, I'm gonna say most, because there's some teachers that do care. Most of us do not care about this skin color. We don't care about the financial background, the socioeconomic, which is financial amongst other things, background. We don't care about your family life. We don't care about your sexual orientation. All we care about is you as an individual, as a child, and we want you to feel safe in our classrooms and in our schools. So for them to say, I, while I don't agree with the homosexual lifestyle, I cannot say that if I was still in the classroom, I wouldn't be a safe space for those individuals to come. Because as a teacher, as an educator, and as an ordained minister, I want people to feel safe and secure as a human being, as a person. I want them to feel safe and secure. So I might be one of those safe spaces where those individuals can come and just relax and just feel at peace amongst everything that's going on within their school environment. It would not be that I agree with that lifestyle, but I would want them as a person, and especially as a child, because I don't care if the youth are 17, you still a child. I don't care if you're 18, you still a child. If you're not out on your own in your own home or apartment paying your own bills, you still a child. That's the way I see it. And as a child, I would do what I could to protect you and make you feel safe. So I'll be curious to know about, and again, it don't mean I agree with your lifestyle, but I do agree that you should feel safe as a young person. What y'all think? How y'all feeling? What's going on with y'all? Y'all might say that that's contradictory, and that's okay. Add it to the live chat, add it to the comment section. Let's talk about it. All right, last thing I want to share. I said I was going to be done by 7:30. Give me 5 more minutes. Last thing I want to share is, so like the stories, I don't know. So there was a gentleman. His name is, let me see if I wrote his name down. I think I have his name somewhere. It's a lot of words. So anyway, there was a gentleman on the campus of Harvard. this sort, I just, so you all know you can donate your body to colleges for research for what do there's a specific name for it. I should have highlighted it, but I didn't. For research and for is something else that I was reading. Okay, I can't find it right now, but you can donate your body for research. So that those individuals that are studying the anatomy, they can study the anatomy, they can learn about, especially, diseased body, they can learn about that disease, just do research and just learn and grow so that hopefully we can help, future generations with whatever is happening in our body and whatever research is being conducted at that time. So there was a gentleman, um, I'm still trying to find his name. I can't find his name for some reason, but he actually, I really want to find his name. Okay, I can't find it, but he was alleged to be selling body parts of the parts of a body of bodies that were donated to the Harvard Medical School, and he was alleged to have been selling body parts. I didn't know that selling body parts was a big thing or was a thing or a big thing, but obviously it is. And he, um, so when I found out in reading about this, there are no rules. You know how there are rules and regulations for organ donors. Like there is a particular board. I should have highlighted this, y'all, but I did not highlight this. But there is, I think it's American. Anyway, I don't know if it's this particular association that I'm looking at right now, but there are federal regulations for organ donors. There's a way that, the body is cared for or the organs are removed and, to be donated to another person who needs it. There is a set of guidelines and rules and regulations for medical care professionals to take care of of the bodies and to manage the organs again for viability, making sure that they get where they need to be. But when you donate your body to like a college or another nonprofit, there are not any specified regulations for how that body should be cared for. I just don't understand why there aren't any guidelines for how a donated body should be cared for within the higher learning institute or even within the articles talking about nonprofits. And so, um, you, so so I can start. I have no working knowledge. I don't have any education about like I know where the body parts are and how most of the organs in our body work and what they're for. Like the spleen, I know the spleen is about, I can't tell you what it's for. Like I can tell you what some of the other functions of our organ. So, but I can actually start a body donation, what you call a body donation program right now without any type of certification. Like I can just pop up one, say I'm taking bodies without any certification. I think that's Looney Tunes. I would never, just on the record, I would never do that because I don't want nobody's dead body nowhere near me. But there are no rules and regulations. So the article that I was reading did not say how many cadavers were sold or how many, how many cadavers were, how many cadavers, how they're, okay, so let me say it right. So there were body parts that were disseminated or sold, not disseminated, but sold. We don't know how many bodies were affected by the selling of these body parts. That's what I want to say. Jesus, I just don't, I mean, I want anything to make a dollar. I don't even know. I don't know how long this was going on. I did not highlight that. But apparently, this is a huge thing that there are dozens of networks where people can buy body parts. I have no idea what individuals are doing with these body parts like that. I mean, I don't even want to go there in my imagination. But why you buying body parts? Like I'm at a loss for words. So anyway, they are working to, there is the American Association of Anatomy. It's an industry group, and they are, of course, condemning the commercialization of human bodies, and they would like to see some regulations for institutes of higher learning and other organizations that take body parts for their research or whatever they use them for. They've actually developed a set of guidelines for universities and for nonprofit groups to follow. I don't know if this will ever be like, if there will ever be federal regulations or laws enacted to regulate universities and nonprofits from doing whatever to these bodies. So anyway, again, that was just for your information. I did not dive too deep into it because it was enough just knowing that body parts are being sold um, through dozens of agencies. I'm assuming illegally. This particular person was alleged, had allegedly done this. If you don't have permission, it's illegal, is the way I see it. I just don't even understand it. So Harvard did say that they are, they have, make sure that I got this right. They've hired an independent group, if I'm not mistaken, to do some research on their policies. Let me make sure that I remember that correctly. Yes, okay, I'm sorry. They have appointed a panel of experts to review their policies. They haven't hired an independent agency. I apologize for that. They have appointed a panel of experts to review its policies and practices as it relates to the handling of cadavers. I'm done with the news. I'm stressed out right now, even reading that. There's just so much going on in our world today, so many different things that are happening that we don't know about. I just I'm just looking for the Lord to return. That's all I'm saying. I'm looking for the Lord to return. So I'm done with my news, you all. I would like to encourage, I didn't bring my book over, but you all know that Determined Publishing Company is celebrating 15 years in business. And my book, A Mobster's Love, is available right now at determinedpublishing.com for 40% off. So you can get it today for $6 instead of $10. It is the story of Franco Denali and Carmen Sanders. She is a high school principal. He is a mobster, and it opens up with their meeting and then their subsequent engagement with each other. It is an amazing story. It is a faith-based romance novel, but they still working out their soul salvation with fear and trembling. So there may or may not be some premarital relations happening within this book. If that is not for you, then it's okay. You don't have to purchase a book. But y'all, Christians struggle with sexual sins. I'm gonna just say how it is. And I'm going to leave that there. So visit determinedpublishing.com to get my book and to check out the rest of my other 13 books, faith-based romance novels, my trilogy, A Long Time Coming, and the Gifts of Love series. I was like, is it gift or gifts? But the Gifts of Love, or the Gift of Love, it's no S, Gift of Love series. Gifts of Love. I think it's an S. Anyway, child. The Gifts with an S of Love series is what it is. That's my final answer. And so yes, and so also check out our virtual lifestyle series at BeFreeMinistriesNC.org. We have talked about mental health, physical health, home purchasing a home, reestablishing just any that you need to do. What else have we talked about? Our finances, y'all got to get these finances. We talked about our finances next month in July, second Thursday in July. I will be doing a chair yoga practice and a mindfulness practice with you so that we can get our mental, we can continue on maintaining our mental and emotional health. So I will be doing that in July, second Thursday in July at 6:30 right here on the Stephanie Humphrey channel. And then in August, the second Thursday at 6:30 p.m. I'm hoping to have a nutritionist. I haven't found one yet, but if not, we'll be talking about eating healthy. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out hopefully by then. And we'll talk about some healthy eating. I thought about doing a little cooking demonstration for you, but I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know how to navigate that, like cooking and navigating the camera. Maybe I'll do a practice run and do it for you and just do, I'm cooking tofu now, y'all. I have never cooked tofu in my life, but Sunday and one day this week I cooked a tofu dish, like some tofu and stir-fried vegetables is what I did. And I liked it. It was really good. And so I'm going to be incorporating more tofu into my diet. And so I like it. I like it. And so, yeah, y'all, y'all just stay encouraged, pray, keep your family encouraged, keep your coworkers encouraged, try to stay off the social media and the news as much as possible to maintain your own mental and emotional health. And just y'all, just again, just take care of you. Take care of you. Take care of you. Take care of you. Thank you so much for joining the Stephanie Humphrey channel. Sip and say, it was a blessing to share just these few things with you. I pray that you be encouraged. I pray that you be built up. I pray that you be all of who God has called you to be. All right. Until next time, have a good night.